They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stop me dead while I...
Jungkook entered the hospital out of breath. He ran because his car was stuck in the traffic. He was in a hurry because he received a call from the hospital that his grandpa had seizure again. He went to the ICU where his grandpa is and talked to the doctor. How is he, doc? The chairman is okay now, but he has been having seizures lately. Jungkook, you need to prepare yourself. Jungkook looked at the doctor with teary eyes. He understands what the doctor meant. The only family Jungkook has is his grandpa after her parents died into an accident. He has a sister who is missing. Jungkook's sister was with her parents when the accident happened, but they didn't see her body, so they suspected that she might survive and alive. After the accident, his grandpa started getting sick, and it got worse and worse. Later on, his secretary arrived. Any news about my sister? Jungkook asked. His secretary answered, No, sir. We need to find her before Grandpa is gone so he can have peace of mind. But, sir, what if she's not in this world anymore? Jungkook thought, what if his sister is dead? If only I could make a robot that looked like my sister, I would make it so that before my grandfather dies, he can see my sister for the last time, Jungkook said. Jungkook was in the car on his way home. Sir, look at that girl. She looks a little like your sister, but I'm sure she's not your sister, Jungkook's secretary said. Jungkook looked at what Mr. Lee is pointing, and the moment he saw you, he quickly told his secretary to stop the car. He got out and came to you, who is currently performing. You are a singer in an event and a member of a band. Every Friday you perform in the Gangnam Street. He stands in front and stares at you intently. You notice him but you ignore him, and the show must go on. Jungkook looks at you from head to toe, observing every movement and detail of your face, and he proves that you are not his sister, but you have 70% resemblance to her sister, your postures and face. After you performed, you were busy fixing your equipment when Jungkook came to you. Good evening, he said. You look at him and say, do you need anything? If you want to hire me for events, just talk to my brother, you said while pointing your bandmate. No, I need something else. What is it? Can I pay you to act as my sister for just 1 hour? You were surprised on what he said. Excuse me, sir, I'm a singer, not an actress. And who is crazy to pay to act as his sister? Why don't you talk to your sister instead of asking me to act as her? You said. Because she is missing, and my grandpa is dying. I just want them to meet before my grandpa die. I know this is wrong, but I want my grandfather's mind to be peaceful before he dies. You look at him, and you will see in his eyes the sadness and grief he feels, because you are going through it right now. I'm sorry to hear that. Just 1 hour, right? You ask. Yes, just 1 hour. He's unconscious so he can see you. All you have to do is talk to him. Tell him that you're okay, and he don't have to worry about you. Okay, but I won't do this because of the money. You don't need to pay me. I will do this because I have my own reason. The next day, you meet at the hospital. Jungkook offered to pick you up, but you said to meet at the hospital. He guides you going to the ICU as you saw an old man lying on the bed. Many devices attached to his body. Obviously, those equipments, that is the only thing connecting his life. You just stare at the old guy until Jungkook saw you with tears falling. As you approach the old man, you hold his hand and start talking to him while bursting in tears. Jungkook leave the room and wait for you outside. After 1 hour, you go outside. Jungkook handed you a handkerchief as he asked, "Why are you being emotional? Did something happen to you?" You wipe your tears and answer, "My grandma passed away last week. I can feel the pain that you feel." "Is this the reason why you agree?" You didn't answer. You just nod. Jungkook gave you a money but you didn't take it. He thanked you for all you done. After that, you left without knowing each other's name. One week later, you are busy performing when you notice a familiar face, and later on, you recognize him. He is the guy who asked you to act as his sister. He smiles, so you smile back. After your performance, he approached you. That time you thought maybe his grandfather is already dead. But you were surprised when you found out that his grandfather suddenly got better. After you visited him, it was like a miracle happened because when you left, he woke up. He woke up to a woman's voice, and Jungkook said that it was his sister. And now, Jungkook wants you to pretend as his sister because his grandpa is looking for you. At first, you didn't agree, but Jungkook begged you and told you everything that his grandpa is his only family left. And he promised that once he found his sister, you don't need to pretend anymore. You felt sorry for him, so later on you agreed. But what surprised you all was when you found out who that old man was and who is Jungkook. You found out that they own 20 hotels in your country and 2 companies. You want to back out, but it's too late because you already agree. Even though you agree, you have a condition. You will not live in their house. You will only visit there 3 times a week. Jungkook is not against on your condition. For him, as long as you agree to be his fake sister. The old man chose to stay at home rather than the hospital. The hospital agreed as long as he had his own nurse to watch over him 24 hours. Jungkook knocked the door as he came in. "Grandpa, I have surprise for you," Jungkook said, and pulled you. The moment the old man saw you, he cried and called you to come closer to him as he hugged you tightly. "Claire, where have you been? I miss you so much." "I'm sorry, Grandpa." "It's okay. You don't need to explain. The important thing is you come back." Jungkook went out of the room to give you some time. After how many hours, Jungkook wondered why it was quiet, so he peeked inside the room. A smile forms into his face after seeing you and his grandpa sleeping peacefully. You're always like this to your grandmother, so it's not awkward for you. He gets inside the room and took a blanket and cover your body. Then you suddenly woke up. I'm sorry if I woke you up, Jungkook whispered. As you answer, it's okay. And you get up. Thank you. For what? For doing this to my grandpa. I should thank you because your grandfather relieved my longings for my grandmother. I sent you home. It's late now. I'll take care of my grandfather when he wakes up. I'll make excuses. Few weeks pass, months, that you continue pretending to be Jungkook's sister. And as time passed, Jungkook's grandfather. No, I'm confused right now, you answer. Where? Jungkook added. As you reply, never mind. Jungkook was busy on his work when was suddenly got surprised after his grandfather entered the office, and he was even more surprised when he saw you. What are you doing here? To pick you? We're going to amusement park. Huh? Jungkook grandpa hold Jungkook's arms and drag him. He also hold your arms and drag you. I was also forced and dragged her. I'm sorry. You two shut up. We're having a date. But when you got to the amusement park, Jungkook's grandpa sat down and told you two to have fun together without him because he changed his mind and he's going home. There was nothing you could do because he got angry when you didn't follow him. But at that time, you felt happy because you were with Jungkook. And that night was so perfect. You're about to sleep when someone rang the doorbell, so you quickly get up to see who it was. And when you opened the door, you saw Jungkook and his secretary supporting him. What happened to him? You ask. He got drunk and he wants to come here, his secretary answered. Okay, I will take care of him. You can go and rest now, Mr. Lee. You help Jungkook and close the door. You carefully lay him on the sofa, but he suddenly pulled you closer to him and hugged you tightly. Why, and what I'm going to do? Why? What happened? I don't want you to be my sister forever. I can't treat you as my sister. I want to treat you as my lover. But how? Can you stop pretending as my sister? What do you mean? I fell for you. I love you. But I found out today that my sister is already dead. Why, and let's run away. You are confused. Actually, you also fell for Jungkook. But what about his grandfather? He'll be hurt if he found out that you're just pretending. And especially if he found out that the real Clear is already dead. You are afraid of how he might be, and it's your conscience if anything bad happened to the old man. You're also attached to Jungkook's grandfather, and you already consider him as your real grandfather. Honestly, I also love you. You are the first guy that I love. But I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to think only of myself. Please forget your feelings for me, and I will also do the same. Starting today, I will really consider myself as your sister. But why, Anne? How about me? Your feelings for me? Will you fight for me? I'm sorry, Jungkook. Until Jungkook suddenly kissed you. You tried to push him, but you let yourself and got carried away by your feelings. So you kissed him back. And it lasted for a few minutes. Until your senses are back as you push him and stand up. Forget me, please, you said, and ran to your room and locked yourself. The next day, when you woke up, Jungkook is no longer in the living room. And since then, you haven't seen each other. You heard from his grandfather that he hasn't come home for several days, or always comes home at dawn. You realized that Jungkook was avoiding you. You were peeling a fruit in front of Jungkook's grandfather when he spoke. Did you and Jungkook have a fight? You look at him and answer, No, Grandpa. But I notice you are lonely these past days. I'm not blind. I know something happened to the both of you, he added. You stand up and hug the old guy. Grandpa, I love you. I always here for you, you said while crying. The old man tapping your back and speak, but his words make you shock. YN, are you in love with Jungkook? Grandpa, you know that I'm not clear? You know that I'm just pretending as her? You see the sadness of his eyes. He just nod and start to cry. Your heart turned apart by seeing the old guy crying, and you really feel guilty. You kneel down and asking for forgiveness. I'm sorry, Grandpa. I didn't want to deceive you. I'm sorry. The old man held your arms and helped you to stand. I know you only did that because you were concerned about me. And thanks to you, because of you, I got better. Before I got sick, I already knew that Jungkook's sister was already dead. I didn't just tell my grandson because I know he will be hurt. Why didn't you tell me that from the start you already know that I'm not clear? I'm sorry. At first I was afraid that you would leave, especially because I see my grandson happy when you are there. Jungkook went through so much pain. I just want to see him happy. And I think you are the girl who makes him happy. Jungkook kept himself busy so he could forget about you until he heard a knock. Mr. Lee, go first and I'll go home later, he said. The door opened. Mr. Lee, I said, he said and raised his head, but he was surprised when he saw you. Yeah, Jungkook, Grandpa is looking for you. Tell him I'm busy. But he wants to see you. Do you know the reason why I don't want to go home? Because I don't want to see you. It hurts me when I see you. I try to forget you, but I can't. And now, you are here standing in front of me. Aish, you have so many drama, you said as you come closer to him. You pulled his tie and kissed him. I love you too. Grandpa, I did it! Really? Then good. Then the old man entered the office. What is this? Jungkook, I know from the start that she's not your sister, but I really like her for you. I know you're going to like her, and I'm right. You need to get married so that I can have grandchildren. Then you and Jungkook realized that the reason why from the start the old man doesn't ask about what happened to you when you disappear. He doesn't ask for details. And it turns out that he is the one who makes a way for you to get closer, like amusement park, and to make Jungkook jealous by setting you up to a blind date. The end. Thank you for watching Koobies. Good night. I love you, Mama. Chup chup.